If you're here to uncover the shocking truth about time travel and Al Bielik's mysterious journey to the year 2345, you're in the right place. Stay tuned as we reveal one of the most bizarre and controversial time travel stories ever told. Imagine waking up in a world where floating cities dominate the skies, war has been erased from history, and humanity is ruled by artificial intelligence. A man named Al Bielik claims he's already seen this future. After traveling from 1943 to the year 2345, his story is filled with secret military experiments, time loops, and a world unlike anything we know. Is he a true time traveler, or the greatest storyteller of all time? In this video, we will answer the most important questions surrounding Al Bielik's story. Did the Philadelphia experiment really happen, or is it a hoax? How did Bielik supposedly travel through time, and why did he end up in 2345? What did he claim to have seen in the future, and does any of it match scientific predictions? Why was he sent back to the past, and what was the purpose of erasing his identity? Could time travel actually exist? Or is this all just an elaborate fabrication? Now let's dive deep into one of the strangest time travel stories ever told. According to Bielik, his story began in the midst of World War II, during what is now known as the Philadelphia experiment. The US Navy was reportedly working on a project to render the USS Eldridge invisible to enemy radar. But something went terribly wrong. As the ship was engulfed in an electromagnetic field, crew members experienced horrific effects. Some fused into the ship's structure, others went insane. And a few, including Bielik and his brother Duncan Cameron, claimed to have been transported through time. Bielik described how as the ship began to vanish, he and Duncan jumped overboard, expecting to land in the ocean. Instead, they found themselves in the year 1983, inside a highly classified government facility. They were immediately taken into custody and interrogated by officials who seemed to know exactly who they were. It was then that they met a man claiming to be Dr. John von Neumann, one of the brilliant physicists involved in the original Philadelphia experiment. The problem, however, was that von Neumann had supposedly died years earlier. According to Bielik, von Neumann revealed that the ship had been caught in a time loop, and it was up to them to return and shut down the experiment. They were sent back to 1943, where they managed to destroy the ship's control systems, breaking the cycle. But that wasn't the end of Bielik's journey. He claimed that following these events he was subjected to further experiments, ones that sent him even further into the future. In one of his most shocking claims, Bielik stated that he woke up in the year 2137. He described being treated for radiation poisoning in a highly advanced hospital. Unlike modern medicine, doctors in 2137 used light and frequency-based healing methods rather than conventional pharmaceuticals. While recovering, he had access to television broadcasts that informed him of major changes that had taken place in human history. According to Bielik, by 2025 the world had undergone a dramatic shift due to climate change, global conflicts, and geopolitical restructuring. The United States as we know it no longer existed. It had fractured into several smaller territories. He also spoke of a drastic reduction in the human population due to environmental disasters and wars. But what happened next was even more extraordinary. Bielik claimed that after his recovery, he was moved even further into the future, to the year 2345. This was where he witnessed an Earth that was completely unrecognizable from our own. Humanity had evolved far beyond the nations and conflicts of the 21st century. Instead of governments, society was now governed by artificial intelligence. He described massive floating cities suspended above land by an unknown form of energy. Money no longer existed and people lived in harmony with technology. Work was almost entirely eliminated, as machines and AI systems handled everything from construction to governance. According to Bielik, people had developed a form of telepathic communication and no longer relied on traditional language to interact. Education, entertainment, and information were all transmitted directly to the brain. Perhaps the most startling revelation from his time in 2345 was that there were no standing militaries. The concept of war had been eradicated completely. He claimed that by this point, humanity had learned from its past mistakes and no longer engaged in violent conflict. Energy was free and abundant, and diseases had been virtually eliminated. However, Bielik was never able to remain in one time period for too long. He claimed that after his stay in 2345, he was sent back in time once again, this time to the year 2749. Though his recollections of this period were less detailed, He stated that humanity had continued to advance, living in a utopia where the very structure of reality itself was different from what we understand today. Eventually, Bielik said he was transported back to the 20th century, where he was forced to assume a new identity. His past life had been erased, and he was placed into the family of the Bieliks, living under a false name. Only years later did he begin to recall his experiences through suppressed memories. Bielik's story has been met with extreme skepticism. Many scientists and historians dismiss his claims as pure fantasy, pointing out inconsistencies in his timeline. However, others believe that his story, while bizarre, may contain elements of truth. Could time travel technology exist in secret government programs? And if so, what does that mean for the future of humanity? If Bielik's journey is real, it raises profound questions about our reality. Could our world be on the verge of a transformation similar to the one he described? Time, the invisible force that dictates our lives. It moves forward without pause, shaping everything we know. It governs the rise and fall of civilizations, the birth and death of stars, and the relentless march of progress. But what if we could break free from its grasp? What if time could be slowed, reversed, or even rewritten? For centuries, the idea of time travel has fascinated philosophers, scientists, and dreamers alike. Some claim it's nothing more than science fiction, while others believe the truth is being hidden from us. Could it already be happening? Is someone somewhere moving through time right now? Long before modern science began to analyze time, civilizations across the world told tales of strange anomalies, stories of people disappearing for what seemed like moments, only to return and find that centuries had passed. One of the most well-known ancient stories comes from Hindu mythology, found in the Mahabharata. It tells of a king named Kakudmi who, seeking advice from the god Brahma, traveled to his celestial realm. When he returned, thousands of years had passed on Earth. His entire civilization had vanished. Similar tales appear in other cultures. The Japanese legend of Urashima Taro describes a fisherman who saves a turtle and is taken to an underwater palace. He stays for what feels like days, but upon returning to his village, he finds that 300 years have passed. In Greek mythology, the concept of time manipulation is hinted at in the story of Endymion, a shepherd granted eternal sleep by the gods. Could these stories be metaphorical, or do they suggest that ancient people had encounters with real-time anomalies? There is also the famous story of the Seven Sleepers, found in both Christian and Islamic traditions. A group of men hides in a cave to escape persecution and falls into a deep sleep. When they awaken, they discover that centuries have passed and the world has changed beyond recognition. These myths raise an intriguing question. Could time distortions have happened throughout history, leaving only these cryptic stories behind? Religious texts often contain descriptions of visions, prophecies, and unexplained leaps in time. Could these accounts be more than just symbolic? The Book of Revelation, written by John of Patmos, describes a future apocalypse with unsettling accuracy. Some believe that, rather than a mere vision, John may have experienced a form of time travel, witnessing future events firsthand. In Islam, the Cave of Al-Kahf describes a group of believers who sleep for centuries, only to wake up in a world that no longer recognizes them. The Quran specifically mentions how their bodies did not decay, and how they turned slightly in their sleep, as though some unseen force preserved them. The Bible also contains an event involving the prophet Elijah, who was taken up into the sky in a chariot of fire. Some interpretations suggest he was removed from the normal flow of time. Prophets like Nostradamus have also been credited with glimpses of the future. Could certain individuals throughout history have had access to a different understanding of time? If time travel is real, where are the time travelers? One theory suggests they're here, but they can't reveal themselves. The chronology protection hypothesis proposed by Stephen Hawking suggests that the laws of physics prevent paradoxes by making time travel to the past impossible. But what if time travel doesn't work the way we think? What if every alteration creates an alternate timeline? What if the world we live in is already shaped by unseen travelers? In 1905, Albert Einstein's theory of special relativity changed the way we think about time. According to his equations, time is not fixed, it is relative. If an object moves at incredible speeds, time for that object slows down compared to those at rest. This is known as time dilation. We already see this effect in astronauts. Those who spend months aboard the International Space Station age slightly slower than people on Earth. The faster you move, the slower time passes for you. A famous example is the twin paradox. If one twin remains on Earth while the other travels near the speed of light, the space traveler will return home younger than their sibling. But what about traveling back in time? That's where things get complicated. One theoretical method involves wormholes, tunnels in space-time that could connect different points in history. If one end of a wormhole moves close to a massive gravitational field, like a black hole, time near that end slows down significantly. If you step through, you might emerge in a completely different era. However, stabilizing a wormhole would require negative energy, something we have yet to fully understand. Another concept is the Tipler cylinder, proposed in the 1970s. This theoretical structure, a massive spinning cylinder, could theoretically create closed time-like curves, allowing someone to travel backward in time. But the energy requirements are astronomical. Could modern physics hold the key to unlocking time travel? The future of time travel remains uncertain, but one thing is clear: humanity's fascination with bending time is not going away anytime soon. The mystery of Albielek continues to captivate those who hear it. Whether fact or fiction, his story reminds us of one fundamental truth: the future is always full of possibilities. What do you think? Could time travel be real? If given the chance, would you visit the world of 2345? Let us know in the comments. Please like and share the video, and please don't forget to subscribe for more mind-blowing explorations of the unknown. Thanks for watching!